Okay, in this section we're going to calculate simple interest, and using the simple interest we're going to find the future value of any invested amount. So first of all, we need to understand interest is the amount of the money we get paid for lending money, or if you invest some money on something and if that investment gives you extra money, that's called interest. The original amount of the money we invest or deposit, that's called principal. And whenever someone gives interest, they use some type of rate in percentage, let's say 5%, 6%, something like that. That's the rate. Simple interest involves interest calculated only on the principal. If you focus on the formula, the simple interest can be calculated by using this formula, which is principal times rate times time. We always express R as a decimal and then time as a year. So for example, let's say you invest 20,000 bucks, and 20,000 bucks in some type of account which pays 4% interest if you invest that money for 5 years. Then if you want to calculate the interest, this is your principal, this is your rate, and this is your time. But when you try to calculate, you do not use the percentage sign, you use decimal of percentage sign, which is 0.04, and you just calculate that amount. That gives you the interest. If I just multiply 20,000 times 4%, which is 0.04 times 5, that is the interest earned by that 20,000, which is, as you can see here, it's a 4,000. So if you invest that money for 5 years, you are going to get 4,000 interest, and that's called simple interest. So now eventually after 5 years, how much money you are going to get, that's called the future value. So you invested 20,000 today, and after 5 years you get 20,000, which is your original principal, plus that 4,000, which is from interest, and altogether that's called the future value, and this is the formula for future value. Okay, so very simple. Let's look at some problem here. Okay, the formula for calculating simple interest I is P times R times T, where P is the principal, R is the rate, and then T is the time. That's the simple formula. In simple interest, only the original money invested or borrowed generates interest over time. Yes, that's a true statement. Because the simple interest is the amount of the money that we get paid for lending or investing money, or that we pay for borrowing money. Okay, this is true. That's why it's called simple. Okay, let's go to the next problem. The principal is given, rate is given, time is given. What do you want to find? We want to find the simple interest. So you just multiply the principal by the rate, which is 0.02, which is 2%, times by the time. Time supposed to be always in years, and the simple interest is $7.60 for 190 bucks for 2 years. Okay, here is the principal, here is the amount you are going to receive after 1 year. Determine the loan's simple interest rate. So remember, if you look at the formula, A, which is a future value, is a principal 1 plus R times T. So we are going to use this formula to solve this problem. let me just show you. So uh, amount, the future value, sorry about that, future value, which is A, equal principal times 1 plus rate times t. In this problem, A is given, which is 4,240 bucks, and the principal is given, which is 4,000, and the time is given, which is 1. So r times 1 is r. We would like to find out the r. So first of all, divide both sides by 4,000. So it gives us 1 plus r. So if I divide 424 by 400, that's 1.06. 1.06, which is 1 plus r. So what is r? Subtract 1. That gives you r equal 0.06. 0.06 is r, which is what? Which is r equals 6%. So that's the rate, 6%. Let's go to next problem. In order to start a small business, a student takes out a simple interest loan for 6,000 bucks for 6 months at a rate of 11.75%. Remember, simple interest has a formula, which is principal times rate times time. In this case, principal is 6,000 bucks. Rate is 11.75, which is 0.1175, and time is 6 months. What is 6 months? 6 months is 6 divided by half year, which is half year. You always have to convert time into years. In this case, 6 months can be converted into year if you divide that by 12 months, because there are 12 months in a year. Now use your calculator. So 6,000 times 0.1175 times 6 divided by 12 is half, which is 0.5. So this is $352.50. $352.50. If you round it to the nearest cents, that's the interest, that is student earns. So what is the future value? Future value is the principal plus interest, which is $6,352 and then 50 cents. Okay, so that's the simple interest.